Hold on. Before you believe the headlines, there's something almost nobody is telling you. You've probably seen the rumors exploding across YouTube, TikTok, and X, with people claiming THF Bayzoo secretly told the feds everything. But here's the question that actually matters. Where's the proof? That's where this story takes a completely different turn. A lot of people online are repeating the same claims without separating verified court information from internet speculation. And in today's rap culture, one viral post can spread faster than the facts. So in this video, we're not chasing rumors. We're breaking down what has actually been reported, what prosecutors have alleged publicly, and what remains unconfirmed. Because those are three very different things. Here's what makes this case so interesting. Every time new court filings appear, social media races to connect the dots. Fans start creating theories, old interviews resurface, and suddenly everyone claims they know what happened behind closed doors. But do they? The biggest surprise isn't just the allegations, it's how quickly the internet can transform unanswered questions into facts. That's exactly why this story deserves a closer look. Over the next few minutes, we're going to separate verified information from speculation, examine what has been said in public records, and explain why this case has everyone in the hip-hop world paying attention. If you've only seen the viral clips, there's a good chance you're missing the most important part of the story. Stay with me until the end, because one overlooked detail changes how many people are looking at this entire situation. And it's a detail that hasn't received nearly as much attention as the headlines. Let's get into what is actually known, and what's still only being claimed. The internet moves so fast that one rumor can become a headline before anyone stops to ask whether it's actually backed by evidence. That's exactly what happened when THF Bayzoo's name suddenly started appearing in countless videos, posts, and comment sections, with people claiming he had secretly cooperated with federal investigators and exposed Lil Durk. Overnight, social media exploded with bold titles, dramatic thumbnails, and millions of views. But here's the reality. There's a huge difference between what people online are saying and what has actually been confirmed through public court records. If you're looking for facts instead of internet gossip, you're in the right place because this story is much more complicated than most creators are telling you. Before we go any further, it's important to separate allegations from established facts. Federal prosecutors have made allegations in court filings connected to their investigation, but allegations are not convictions, and they are not proof that every rumor circulating online is true. Likewise, there is no publicly confirmed evidence showing that THF Bayzoo secretly told the feds everything, despite how often that claim appears across social media. That's why this video focuses on what is publicly known, and why so many people are misunderstanding the situation. The reason Bayzoo's name suddenly became one of the hottest topics in hip-hop isn't because of a viral tweet. It happened because every time a major federal case develops, fans immediately start looking for the missing pieces. They compare interviews from years ago, analyze old Instagram lives, repost forgotten photos, and connect events that may have absolutely nothing to do with one another. In today's social media world, a theory can spread across thousands of accounts before anyone asks where it actually came from. Once enough people repeat the same story, many viewers begin treating speculation as if it were an established fact. What makes this even more interesting is the way federal investigations usually work. Contrary to what movies often show, investigators don't build cases around a single dramatic confession. Instead, prosecutors typically rely on a combination of digital evidence, phone records, surveillance, financial information, witness testimony, and other materials gathered over long periods of time. That's one reason experienced legal analysts constantly remind viewers not to assume that one person is responsible for an entire federal case simply because their name starts trending online. Another reason the rumors spread so quickly is Lil Durk's enormous influence in hip-hop. Every legal development connected to him instantly becomes front-page news within rap media. Millions of fans want answers, and content creators race to upload videos before anyone else. The result is that speed often beats accuracy. One creator repeats another adds extra details without verification, and before long, the original rumor has transformed into what many people mistakenly believe is confirmed information. That doesn't mean the federal investigation itself isn't serious. It absolutely is. Public court filings have attracted enormous attention because prosecutors have outlined allegations they believe are supported by evidence. Those filings are why so many people are paying attention to every new update. But understanding what prosecutors allege is different from claiming that internet rumors about specific individuals have already been proven. That distinction matters, especially in a case attracting this much public interest. Something else most people overlook is how federal cases often unfold over months or even years. New documents become public, attorneys file motions, and both sides present arguments before the complete picture becomes clear. During that time, speculation fills the gaps. Fans naturally want immediate answers, but the legal process rarely moves at the same speed as social media. That's why one day's viral headline can look very different after additional court filings or official statements emerge. Perhaps the biggest surprise is that some of the loudest claims online don't point to verified evidence at all. Instead, they rely on screenshots without context, anonymous posts, recycled clips, or interpretations that cannot be independently confirmed. That doesn't automatically make every rumor false, but it also doesn't make those claims true. The smartest approach is to ask one simple question every time you hear an explosive allegation: what is the actual source? If nobody can point to a reliable public document or official statement, it's worth treating the claim with caution. As we continue, we'll take a closer look at what has actually been reported, why Bayzoo's name became linked to these discussions, and how the internet transformed unanswered questions into one of the biggest stories in rap. Once you separate verified information from speculation, the picture becomes far more revealing, and far more surprising, than the viral headlines suggest. One of the biggest reasons this story refuses to disappear is because federal investigations create an information vacuum. While prosecutors continue building their case through official court proceedings, the internet tries to fill every unanswered question with theories. That's exactly what happened here. As soon as THF Bayzoo's name started appearing in online discussions, countless creators began presenting their own explanations. Some claimed he had become a cooperating witness. Others insisted secret documents had exposed everything. But when you slow down and examine the publicly available record, the picture becomes much less dramatic than the viral headlines suggest. That doesn't mean nothing important is happening. Far from it. Federal prosecutors rarely make major moves without believing they have gathered substantial evidence. Unlike many local investigations, federal cases often involve months or even years of collecting phone data, financial records, travel information, electronic communications, surveillance, and testimony from multiple sources. By the time charges are announced, investigators generally believe they have assembled a detailed timeline. That's why legal experts often caution against assuming that any single rumor explains an entire federal investigation. Another detail that deserves attention is how quickly people confuse association with cooperation. In the world of hip-hop, simply knowing someone involved in a case can trigger endless speculation online. Fans begin asking whether certain friendships, photographs, interviews, or public appearances suddenly have hidden meanings. Before long, ordinary connections are treated as proof of extraordinary claims. But legally speaking, association alone does not establish that someone has provided information to investigators or played any particular role in a federal case. Social media algorithms only make this worse. Think about how they work. The more shocking a headline sounds, the more people click. The more people click, the more platforms recommend that content to new viewers. Soon, dozens of creators are repeating the same narrative because they know controversy generates attention. Eventually, viewers stop asking whether the original claim was ever verified. Instead, they assume that because everyone is saying it, it must be true. That's one of the most powerful forces driving today's online rap discussions. What's fascinating is that experienced defense attorneys often expect this exact situation. High-profile criminal cases almost always attract intense public speculation long before all the evidence becomes available in court. Attorneys understand that rumors can influence public opinion, but they also know that courtrooms operate differently than social media. Judges and juries are expected to consider evidence presented through the legal process, not trending hashtags or viral clips. That's an important distinction many online conversations completely ignore. Then there's another question almost nobody asks. If someone had truly become a cooperating witness, would investigators necessarily reveal every detail immediately? In many federal cases, information about cooperation can remain confidential for extended periods depending on the stage of the proceedings. At the same time, people outside the investigation often claim certainty about developments they couldn't possibly verify independently. That's why responsible reporting requires distinguishing between confirmed facts, legal allegations, and speculation that remains unsupported. Meanwhile, Lil Durk continues to be one of the most recognizable names in modern hip-hop, which naturally magnifies every development connected to the investigation. His influence means that even routine court filings generate enormous attention across music media, podcasts, and social platforms. Fans want immediate answers, while creators compete to deliver exclusive updates. Unfortunately, that competition sometimes rewards speed over accuracy, leading to exaggerated conclusions based on incomplete information. There's also a psychological side to all of this. People are naturally drawn to stories involving betrayal, loyalty, and hidden secrets. Those themes have always captured attention, whether in movies, television, or real-life news. When audiences hear claims that someone may have secretly cooperated with authorities, curiosity skyrockets. It becomes less about confirmed evidence and more about trying to solve a mystery before official information becomes available. That emotional reaction explains why these stories spread so quickly, even when the supporting evidence remains unclear. Perhaps the most overlooked fact is that federal cases evolve over time. New motions are filed. Attorneys challenge evidence. Prosecutors respond. Witnesses may testify. Additional documents can become public months later. A headline that dominates social media today may look completely different after future court proceedings provide additional context. That's why experienced observers avoid making sweeping conclusions before the legal process unfolds. At this stage, what's clear is that the investigation has generated enormous public interest, while the internet has generated even more speculation. Those are not the same thing. Separating verified reporting from viral storytelling is becoming increasingly difficult, especially in an era where dramatic narratives travel faster than carefully sourced information. As we continue, we'll examine the developments that fueled these theories in the first place, why certain names continue resurfacing, and which details deserve the closest attention as this closely watched case moves forward. At this point, you have to ask yourself one question. If the internet is so confident about what happened, why are so many of the biggest claims impossible to trace back to an official source? That's the twist that changes everything. Most viral videos don't begin with a court filing. They begin with another viral video. One creator makes a bold claim, another repeats it with a stronger headline, and by the end of the week thousands of people are convinced they've heard confirmed news. That's how modern online narratives are built. Not always from new evidence, but from repetition. And when a high-profile artist like Lil Durk is involved, that cycle moves even faster. To understand why this story has become so explosive, you have to look beyond the personalities and focus on how federal investigations are actually conducted. Prosecutors don't simply rely on rumors circulating online. They build cases using evidence they believe will stand up in court. That can include phone records, digital communications, financial transactions, surveillance footage, forensic analysis, and witness testimony. Every piece is intended to support a broader timeline. Whether that evidence ultimately proves the allegations is something the legal process is designed to determine, not social media. This is where the conversation surrounding THF Bayzoo often becomes blurred. Across different platforms, some users have claimed he provided information to investigators. Others insist there are sealed documents proving it. However, claims like these should not be treated as established facts unless they are supported by reliable public records or official court proceedings. In high-profile cases, speculation often fills the space between legal updates. and that speculation can quickly become more visible than the verified information itself. There's another reason these rumors gain traction. Hip-hop has always placed enormous value on loyalty, reputation, and authenticity. Whenever someone's name becomes connected to a federal investigation, audiences naturally begin asking difficult questions. Fans revisit old interviews, lyrics, photographs, and social media posts, searching for clues that may or may not exist. Sometimes they discover meaningful context. Other times, they're simply connecting unrelated events because the timing feels suspicious. That's human nature, but it isn't the same as evidence. Notice something else that's happening. Every new filing in a major federal case creates another wave of content. Some creators carefully explain what the documents actually say. Others go several steps further, adding dramatic conclusions that aren't found anywhere in the filings themselves. The second approach usually earns more clicks because certainty is more exciting than uncertainty. Yet in reality, legal cases are rarely that simple. There are motions, responses, hearings, and arguments that unfold over time, often changing how earlier developments are understood. One of the biggest misconceptions is that every person mentioned online must play a central role in the investigation. That's not necessarily true. Public attention tends to focus on recognizable names, while the legal process focuses on evidence. Those aren't always the same thing. A trending topic can dominate social media for weeks without becoming a significant issue inside a courtroom. That's why experienced legal observers wait for official filings and verified testimony before drawing major conclusions. Another point worth considering is how quickly confirmation bias takes over. Once people believe a particular narrative, they begin interpreting every new development as proof they were right all along. A routine court hearing becomes a major breakthrough. A legal motion becomes secret evidence. Silence from the people involved becomes proof that rumors are true. In reality, there are countless reasons why attorneys and defendants avoid commenting publicly during active legal proceedings. Remaining silent is often a legal strategy, not an admission of anything. The most revealing aspect of this entire story may not be any single allegation. It may be how the internet responds whenever information is incomplete. In the absence of immediate answers, speculation expands to fill every gap. That's why it's essential to separate three different categories: what prosecutors have publicly alleged, what official court documents actually state, and what remains internet speculation. Mixing those categories together creates confusion and makes it much harder to understand what's really happening. As more developments emerge, the public will likely see additional motions, hearings, and legal arguments that provide greater context. Until then, the most reliable approach is to evaluate each new claim on its own merits and ask the same simple question every time: is this supported by verifiable public information, or is it another theory spreading faster than the facts? That question, more than any headline or viral clip, is what separates careful reporting from internet noise. There's one detail that keeps getting lost in the middle of all the noise, and it's probably the most important detail of this entire story. Federal investigations don't play out on Instagram, YouTube, or X. They play out in court. Every motion, every response, every hearing, and every filing becomes part of an official record. That's where investigators, prosecutors, and defense attorneys make their arguments. Social media may react to those developments, but it doesn't decide what is true. That's why anyone following this case should pay far more attention to verified court documents than to anonymous posts claiming to have inside information. Think about how many times you've seen a headline that starts with the words, "sources say," or "it has been reported." Those phrases can mean very different things. Sometimes they refer to official court filings. Other times they simply point back to another creator repeating a rumor. That's why it's worth asking a simple question every time a new claim appears. Can this information be traced to a public document, an official statement, or a reliable news organization? If the answer is no, then it's something to watch, not something to accept as fact. One reason this case has generated so much attention is because federal prosecutors generally spend significant time gathering evidence before bringing charges. They often review electronic communications, financial records, travel information, surveillance, and other materials that they believe support their allegations. Defense attorneys, in turn, have the opportunity to challenge that evidence through the legal process. That's how the system is designed to work. It isn't a race to see who posts first online. It's a process that unfolds through hearings, filings, and arguments before a judge. That also explains why so many viral theories end up changing over time. Early speculation often fills the gaps before more information becomes available. Then a new filing is released, a hearing takes place, or an attorney makes a statement in court, and suddenly the online narrative shifts again. Viewers who only follow headlines can easily miss those changes because the corrections rarely spread as quickly as the original rumors. Another interesting pattern is how people interpret silence. When someone involved in a high-profile case doesn't respond publicly, many assume that silence confirms the latest theory. In reality, attorneys frequently advise clients not to comment while legal proceedings are active. Remaining quiet can be a strategic legal decision, not an admission of guilt or agreement with public speculation. That's an important distinction that often gets overlooked when discussions move from courtrooms to comment sections. It's also worth remembering that public interest doesn't automatically make every claim accurate. Cases involving well-known artists naturally attract millions of views because fans care about the outcome. That attention creates strong incentives for creators to publish frequent updates, sometimes before all the facts are available. The challenge for viewers is separating carefully sourced reporting from content designed primarily to generate clicks. The two can look similar on the surface, but they're not the same. As the case continues, more official information may become available through court proceedings. Those developments, not anonymous screenshots or recycled social media posts, will provide the clearest picture of what prosecutors are alleging, how the defense responds, and what evidence is ultimately presented. Until then, it's wise to approach dramatic claims with caution and keep the distinction between allegations, verified facts, and online speculation firmly in mind. In the end, the biggest lesson from this story isn't just about one investigation. It's about how information spreads in the digital age. A rumor can circle the internet in minutes, while verified facts often take much longer to emerge. That's why the most reliable approach is also the simplest. Follow the official record, question unsupported claims, and let the legal process, not viral headlines, determine what is ultimately established. So here's the biggest takeaway from everything we've covered today. In a story filled with viral clips, bold headlines, and non-stop speculation, the most valuable thing you can do is separate what's been publicly reported from what's simply being repeated online. That's the difference between following a case and following a rumor. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think social media is jumping to conclusions? Or do you believe there's more to this story that hasn't been revealed yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, but keep the discussion respectful and focused on the facts. Some of the best conversations happen when people bring evidence and different perspectives instead of just repeating rumors. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more in-depth coverage of the biggest stories in hip-hop, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We don't just chase headlines, we break down the court filings, separate verified information from speculation, and explain why these stories matter. This case is still developing, and as new public information becomes available, we'll continue covering every major update with the context that most people miss. So if you want to stay informed without getting lost in the noise, this is the place to be. Thanks for watching, thanks for spending your time with me, and I'll see you in the next video.